All right. Oh, we got Uncle Chrome and Jeff and the Crazy Wabbit. Welcome, guys. Thanks for stopping by the disaster room tonight. Let's stop that. Or try to. Excuse me. Oh, all right. Culture of Ghosts. Good evening. I'm trying to get this thing to switch back over. Bag of Oop. Hello. There we go. All right. Keep forgetting it takes a few seconds after I hit that button for it to come up to this shot because it's got to reset things. All right. So if you looked at the show description tonight, not a whole lot of plan. I'm just going to kind of fool around in the studio again. Just one of those nights. Yesterday was kind of crazy. Did the Gallimaufry jam, and that kind of broke the studio. Chuck, good to see you. Welcome. My gosh, it has been a while. So yeah, I guess it kind of broke everything yesterday during the jam, and ran into an interesting technical issue. And you're probably hearing some residual junk tonight when I talk. I'm hearing the hiss come up. So anyway, I got to kind of fix things back. I didn't have time yesterday afternoon or today to do it. I had to work. So we'll have to put up with some schmushed tonight. And that's a technical term, schmushed. I don't know how to spell it though. So anyway, we'll do a quick what's in the jam. A lot of this stuff is actually left over from yesterday's jam. Got this drone, and let's do this. Let's grab the computer and put that up, and so that is done in. Most of the sounds tonight are from Arturia's SQ80V. So I've been playing around with that a lot, and we'll probably play with that some more later this evening. Because I've been having a good time playing with the vintage synth. So anyway, that's the drone sound. That's going on. I've got the arpeggiator, but actually tuned down an octave from usual. That's just my usual. Get the right one. My usual little arpeggiator thing. Like I said, just down an octave from usual. Excuse me. There it goes, creeping up. And I also opened the filters up a little bit and added a second oscillator to the norm. And so that's that. I have another patch from SQ80V. This one is, and all the SQ80 patches that I'm using are originals. I didn't use any presets. So this is one that I call 18 seconds. And the reason for that is that the envelope is the overall envelope is 18 seconds long. And so it's kind of like an automatic pad. And right now it's still running the sequence from earlier. Yeah, I like it, and I was reminded yesterday, I guess, that it's kind of like a super SQ80 in that there's a lot of stuff in here that's not part of the original SQ80, but functionality is mostly the same. So we'll talk about that a little later. And then along with that, I have a variant of 18 seconds that I call 10 seconds because it was originally a 10-second envelope, and the overall sound lingers on for 10 seconds. Sounds kind of clarinety. Hey there, half god. I don't know, Paul. I mean, you should dust it off. It's there's some great stuff in there, and I love being me. I love that it's. Of course, I got the wrong shot up, but I love that I can control it now through using the complete control. I can fully control it from the panel of the Control S, which definitely makes it a lot of fun to play. Unlike a lot of times when you have a VST, they're kind of hard to play because controller mapping can be iffy or problematic or just kind of a pain. So anyway, that's that one. Kind of a lead reedy kind of thing. Putting the microbrute back in. Microbrute's a neat little synth. Really neat little synthesizer. Going to sleep. What is sleep? So anyway, that's 10 seconds. All of these are kind of based on the same thing, and just I just kind of had some fun with them. The bass that's going on here is I got Stepic driving another SQ80 patch. And basically, I've got two different patterns in Stepic that it's jumping back and forth through. Click. There we go. It runs this pattern for 4 repetitions, and then jumps to this one, and then back. So that's what's going on there. Let's see. The next channel. Percussion is coming out of the Native Instruments session percussionist for Contact. A filter switch. Put the switch between the low pass and the band. Oh, neat. So you're kind of like shorting across the contacts within the switch. That's pretty cool. Interesting. I wonder how much work it would be to replace that standard switch with one that actually has 3 positions, or even better yet, a pot that you could turn. Might have to now. I might have to go find one to see if I can tear it apart and make it and mod it. That would be pretty cool. So anyway, session percussionist. I've got most of the high end rolled out of it. There's a sweepy filter going on. Let's get the bass down. So basically that I'm using the auto filter in Ableton Live. Let's do this to get that sweep, and that sweep has got a LFO. The filter has an LFO built in, so I'm just using that to drive the cutoff. Nothing fancy there, and like I said, I've got the resonance boosted up a bit, but not so much that it shrieks at us. So anyway, that's that. Also in the jam, let's see. I've got Polybrute. Love this thing. So yeah, there's sort of a microbrute in there. So Polybrute, the wave state is doing a pad thing tonight. Kind of rumbling along down there. It ended up in the wrong octave, but maybe for the closing jam we'll fix that. Op 6 is doing the theremin-ish sound. A little bit from the multi-poly sitting over there. I'm not really. I added it at the last minute and didn't have enough time to choose a decent patch, but it's doing this. Just got to turn it up. Okay, it seems to have gone away. Not sure what that's all about. Come back to it later. There it is. Jeez. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's not the sound I was using. There we go. There we go. And then finally, take 5. And usually I have an arpeggiator turned on this particular sound. This particular sound works better with the arpeggiator if the tempo's up. I'm at like 82 beats a minute tonight. And it's kind of a bad speed for the arpeggiator on this patch. So anyway, that's what's in the jam. So let's see what's going on in the patch. Uncle Chrome got that signature too. You're still floating on cloud 9 with that, huh? Got a kind of quest. Welcome. Good to see you. So it's let's see, what was I going to say? So you're still having a good time with that. I guess you'll still be playing with that next time I see you, Paul. I guess that's coming up a couple weeks, 2 weeks, whatever it is. Anyway, I think I've got it on the calendar. I was running around, scurrying around a little bit late tonight, getting started, so you can see the lava lamp isn't quite cooking yet, but that's okay. We'll take it. You have one keyboard. So, you know what? That's okay. That's cool. I could... We have... We've talked in the past about, what it is that... if I had to bug out and leave with just one keyboard, what would I go with? It's a hard choice here, but I would probably take the multi-poly. As much as I love the Polybrute, I would probably take the multi-poly as my one, assuming that I could have my Control S and the computer, because that's really all that. I've been doing a lot of composition and stuff in the computer lately, especially with all the great Arturia stuff that I have, all the great Native Instrument stuff that I have, all that software. If you've got a good controller and even some free software, you know, you can do a whole heck of a lot. So you don't need to spend fortune on keyboards. You really don't anymore. Um, so yeah, so Paul, what are you jonesing for in the hardware world? Um, what new toys are coming? Dare I ask? Or are you gonna make me wait till I get down there? Um, I am on I'm on a bit of a self-imposed moratorium on buying things. If something is to come in at this point, something else has to go out. And I've got some things I'm going to clear out. They're not getting the use that I would like them to, and Atari 16 rig to solve the MPS jam issues. Yes, I'm 888. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like the I like the Fireface when it works. It's really if we could get everything working with that, that would be a killer rig. In fact, we were talking on one of the discords today, and you know, I think if I had it to do over, I would buy one of those and a couple of analog to ADAT, 8-channel analog to ADAT I/O boxes. I like one of the things I really like about that Digiface that you have is that is that you can expand in chunks of 8, and that mixing software is actually really nice. The issues that you had with it recently make no sense to either of us. Anyway, I'm going to jump back to this because I want to talk about. Let's see, which one am I going to? Which one am I going to go? I'm going to go to this one. So you may notice that folks who've been around, you notice that I've changed the underlying. There's a rude segue. I've changed the background graphics animation thing, and I learned in order to make this work, I have to stop this. Let's see, stop that. So I've got some patterns and visuals here going that I really like, and I learned recently that I can control it using MIDI. I can control. This is the EYESY. I've got the Critter and Guitari EYESY box to do the graphics. I can't get a clear shot over there really because it's dark and where it is. Well, let's see what I can do. Stand by. This will take a moment for me to drive the camera over there. Let's see here. Actually, this is not going to go fast. It's not going to move too fast, so I'll go ahead and give Wabbit the PTZ action shot here. So that's we'll do it. We'll do this one. Hope they can barely see it. Okay, so let's zoom in. So down there in the dark where the little blue light is flashing, yeah, it's not going to show up. Too dark down in there. Let's do this. And oops, wrong button. Crank the gain up there, you'll see it a little bit anyway. There we go. It's just a little box. Inside lives a Raspberry Pi. And it runs the software that you're seeing running in the background behind the window there. Can I pull up full screen? Yeah, here you go. Let me give that to you full screen. So what I've got it doing now is I got it set up so that I can let's see, get to the right place. So I can now switch between the two visuals anyway that I've got going. I can go here and it switches over to this other one. And that continues to overlay what was there before. And then I can switch back. It does this kind of cool thing like that. So let's see, back to that. So anyway, the other thing I could do now, what I'm doing there is I was controlling that with the Stream Deck, and I've got the Stream Deck sending MIDI to the EYESY to switch the preset. So also going on as part of this is in this in the show tonight, I've got these two sequences, and all these sequences do right now is they throw a program change at the beginning of the sequence to switch to the next excuse me, to the next preset. And so one of the things I want to experiment with, and I might just do it live on the air tonight, what the heck, is seeing if I can get program control of the 5 knobs. Now the EYESY does not send out MIDI, but it does listen to it. And the one thing that I neglected to do, and we may get to this another time, I can control. There's 5 knobs on the front, and I can control with. That doesn't work because you can't see what I'm doing. Let's go back to. I guess that. The knobs, the 5 knobs do various things depending on the preset that's loaded, and I actually got to go off the mic to do this. So usually this one controls the background color. I don't know what it controls. I don't think it does that on this patch. But as I'm turning the knob, obviously I'm getting different result. So I'd like to be able to have that under MIDI control. And each of the 5 knobs does something different depending on the patch, as I said. So that one changes the focus of the pixels. One thing I can't do with the EYESY, I wish you could do, you can't do round pixels. You can only do square pixels, and they're fairly big. I think this one controls the speed. Yeah. And then I can switch between the presets from the front panel that I've favorited using these 2 buttons. And if I go back to this, it'll go back to, if I go back the other way to the preset we just had up, that will load up the, the preset as it was stored. So it'll go back to this. So anyway, I'd forgot to print out the continuous controller commands to do the to do that programming, and then that again got bottled up with work stuff today, so stuff didn't get done. So anyway, I do have the program changes under MIDI control at this point, and I, like I said, hope to do further, and then realized I don't have the stuff I need. So, and I really don't want to, fuddle around on the internet and pull up the instructions. So we can skip that and go to the more, I guess, the other fun stuff. We'll play with the EYESY more next week. I suppose. That's kind of disappointing. Oh well. Let me get camera 2 back where it belongs. I'll take you guys for the wild ride. There you go, Wabbit. At least it's small on the screen. All right. Well, let's do this then. Let's move along. Oh, you want me to try it, Peg? Okay. All right, we'll try it. What the heck? Worst it'll do is get really weird. All right, let's see what we can do. Let me do this. I'm going to bring up the computer full screen, like so, and get this track in the foreground. And I'm going to need, so I can see the whole thing. So I will probably do things and forget to change cameras and stuff when I need to. So you'll just have to try and tell me. So let's see. Let's go to, while we're at this, we'll go to the interwebs, and all this stuff will pop up. And let's go to programming manual for the thing. And let's see here. What do I want? I want MIDI configuration. So my continuous controllers are 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay. Let's slide that over there. I'll just go minimize it. That go away. So I've got this external instrument here. This is currently the EYESY. Let's see. How do we do this? Well, let's see. I could do a couple ways I could do this. I have an idea. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the cameras so you all can see what I'm doing here. So let's see. I'm going to go to DAW and camera 2, or camera 2. I'm going to take you guys on another trip with the camera, because I want you to be able to see the controls on the Control S. We go for that. That out of the way. It's not going to see it real well, but it'll be good enough. Okay, so what we're going to want to do, first thing I want to do is set up a custom layer. Good night. Have a good one. I'm going to set up a custom here we go, custom MIDI template. I'm going to add a new template, and we're going to call this, let's see how to do this. Clear this out, and we're going to call it EYESY. Okay, and we'll save that. And now we're going to go in and edit EYESY. And so what I've got here, I've got settings for all of the knobs along here and the buttons and whatnot. I'm only going to worry about the knobs, and I'm just going to worry about the first 5. And so we said that those controls are 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. I've got this set on MIDI channel 15. So we're going to do a, do I have continuous? Yeah, control change, channel 15. And it's going to be number 21. Type is going to be yeah, that should work. Okay, just to test. Oh, I didn't put that in the right place, dummy. That's not what I wanted. I want it down here. Oh, let's see. I need to be there to do this. So, control change. Channel 15. Number 21. We'll do absolute mode, minute into 127. Display mode of integer. Okay, that'll work. And I'm going to go back up to this button, and I'm going to reset that to what it was, which was channel 1, 112. Good enough. Okay. So let's see now. I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to say this is done. Okay. So now I got CC21 on the on knob 1. So what I'll do real quick, let's see, what do I have up on the screen? Okay. So if I change this now, actually let me go into Ableton, and just to make sure that I've got things under control, I'm going to set the MIDI to be coming from complete control. All right. It's really fast. Okay, so let's see what happens if I turn the knob. I don't see anything happening. This is the joys of playing with MIDI. Oh, you know what I might need to do? Let's see. Let me bring this back up full on my screen full anyway. Actually, we'll do that. So let's see. Make sure I have everything set here as correctly as I think I do. MIDI to DIN 8, which is where it is, channel 15. Complete control all channels. That should be fine. So you know what? I'll say 15 just to be sure. Monitor is, I'll set that to in. Okay, and it's enabled. All right, so back to this. Am I seeing the MIDI? I'm not seeing the MIDI go out. So if I were seeing the MIDI go out, I would see more activity here, I think, than what I'm seeing. I am seeing a little MIDI light up down there in the lower corner there, right about here, just above where the mouse pointer is. See that little light lights up when I turn the knob. So what am I missing? All right, let's see. This is what happens when we try things live, you know? Let's see. So I'm not having the audio input, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just using this as a send. No audio to. That is stopped. But here's one thing we could try, just to see if this gets it. Let me go ahead and play. It's part of the fun and frustration, because the next aspect of this is once I get it that I can control it, I want to be able to record it. I wonder if I have to have the sequence playing. Let's see if I've got this playing, and get that to auto. If we pull this off, we like yeah, something like that. All right, so I've got it playing. I'm seeing the MIDI come in, but I'm not seeing any change. Where if I am, it's really subtle. Now I've changed to the other. Okay, I've got some control here. Cool. All right, so the change on that other patch is just really subtle there on control 1. So I'm sort of affecting the angles of the bouncing ball here on that particular one. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead then go back into edit here, And I'm going to go ahead and assign those other controls. We'll go back in there, back to edit. This one we're going to make again on channel 15. This is going to be number 22. I wonder if these, no, the roads shouldn't make any difference really in this case. So this one I'm just going to go ahead and set them all up now. Uh, 24, and then channel 15, and 25. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, very good. We will say done. So now, if I turn these, we should see more massive changes, and we don't. Interesting. Of course, I don't know what all these... Okay, was there anything in there that was saying that our control ranges are limited, or... It should be the tagline for MIDI. I like that, Paul. Let's see if there's anything else I'm missing here. Each incoming message value replaces the current value, so even if a knob 2 is turned all the way to the right, incoming controller message of number 22 with a value of 0 will set the value to 0. Once you move knob 2 again, its control will be restored. Interesting. MIDI. I know the MIDI is working over USB because I've got the change going. Let's see, that's good. Note messages do some other things. I'm not really worried about that. Okay, here's another thing I can check real quick to see if I'm actually getting data going out there like I expect. Go in here and go back in here. And on this first button here, I'm going to make it so that it turns the persist on and off. So that's going to be this guy. We'll make it, this one's going to be a MIDI note. Can I do that there? MIDI note. And on channel 15 again, note is going to be 127. Whatever, geez, what MIDI note is 127? Yeah, I better crack another one too, Bag. Let's see, let's look this up real quick. MIDI note number... What MIDI note is MIDI 127? G9. Wow, that's way up there. Can I go that high? You're not seeing. So, okay, so I can go to... I can only go to G8. You've got to be kidding me. Ah! Alright, well, that won't be happening. I'll just leave that alone. Done. And I don't know if I'm really having control over this other one or not. I enjoy the tech stuff too, but I usually like to have most of it working before I do a show. Okay, so that changed the angle. So it is getting commands. Just not necessarily in the way I expect them to. Oh, there we go. It's work. That one's working. Oh, that's cool. The interesting thing, it goes from 0. Oh, we've changed back to the other. Okay, so I want to stop the sequence. We don't need this right now. Let's go ahead and I want to go to this guy for now. Changed. Come on. You can do it. Let's stop. Play. There we go. And stop the video. All right, so now let's see. I've got this control, which is doing, yeah, okay, I'm seeing differences. Let me get the, oh yeah, awesome. Awesome. That's pretty slick. Okay, so now let's see if we can. Hey, Jeff, if you're still here, let me know real quick. Are you going on tonight? Although I can't stay up real late either. I do have to work. But are you tomorrow morning early? But are you streaming tonight? I know you got the new computer, Jeff. Or are you off setting it up somewhere while we're doing this? So let's see. Okay, so if I can, you're here, not on tonight. Okay, so if I run a little long, it's no big deal. I do still want to try and get out of the way, or get. I got to be in DC early in the morning, so I do need to go to bed at a reasonable hour tonight. Okay, so let's see here. How do I want to set up some controls in this? I wonder if I can get a rack real quick. Now let's go to MIDI effects and what would be fun to play with. Want something that's going to be able to send EC control. There we go. Stick that there. And look at that. I got 8 of them. So let's do this. Mod wheel we'll leave alone. Those 3 will change. And I got 9 through 16. Okay, so let's take this one here. We're going to learn. Okay, before I do that, let's see. We'll make this knob 1. It didn't do because I don't have it set. Turn the learn off. Set this to macro. I don't want to do that. I want it to send. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 25. So now I am going to look at the computer screen while you guys look at both things, and I'm not going to be able to tell what's going on. So I'm going to look at both things too. Screen still says waiting. Refresh your screen, Craig. Okay, so let's see. Let me get this. Oh, that's on program. Let's put these guys up. Okay, so we still have this control here working. Yes. I think. Yes. Okay, so now, if I grab these knobs, am I getting control? I don't know if this is actually sending any control to out to the thing or not. One thing that I don't get is any kind of MIDI monitor on the monitoring on the on that guy. Seeing difference. Oh yeah, okay, so that changed the speed very definitely. Okay, and if I go back, it's hard for me to see too. I'm looking at what you guys are seeing so that I can see the stuff going on in the background. But one of these should take the softness away. There we go. Okay, so it's working. This control is pretty tweaky. I think it's either soft or it's not. So ideally, I would set the range on that. Okay, so now what I need to do is get these so they listen to the controls from the map this to the controls from the controller. Okay, so now if I do a learn, that's not what I want to do, I don't think. Well, that's a cool effect. What happens if I throw it just that's a very cool effect. Anyway, I get lost in the effects on this thing. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to get this to listen to, and sorry guys, I gotta go full screen here. I can't see what I'm looking at. So I gotta get this guy to listen to, let's rename this real quick, speed. And it's gonna vary, never mind. I'm just gonna leave it like it is. I want this guy talks about mapping the macros, but where are my macros? I don't have a flyout control for that. MIDI coming in from complete control, channel 15. Let's throw that on real quick and see if that makes any difference. See, I can see it coming in, so I know I've got it. Nope, that's not what. That's kind of strange, Craig, that you could see the chat or get into the chat, but not, or enter a chat, but not see the video. You get some weird stuff. Do not put audio rate modulators. No, I wasn't going to put audio rate. I was going to put, but I might have put some LFOs on there. Actually, let's do an LFO just for the purposes of testing. Let's see if I can get a slow LFO going on one of these controls. Oops, wrong button. Let's see. So let's grab in audio effects, grab LFO, stick it over here, and we'll slow it way down. Just to start, we'll go real slow. I'm going to map that over to here. And set the offset there, set the depth to there, and a little less offset. What I'm trying to do is get it so the so it touches 0 at the low point. And then close enough for testing. All right, so let's see what you guys are seeing. Doing something. So this is doable. I just have to figure out how to get it to work under the control. Ableton, get it going. Oh, Craig. Yeesh. So this is, hey Craig, this is actually the first time I've played with this particular kind of functionality at all. So I don't know. I'm just kind of poking around, and we're all learning together. So let's take this. I'm going to take this same LFO, and I'm going to map that to. Oops, somehow I got 2 of these set to 21. I'll stick that there, but instead of 50%, I'm going to go positive. I'm going to go 50% negative, so it's swinging the other way, roughly. Somehow I got 2 22s or 2 21s. There we go. Okay, so let's see what you guys are seeing now. Control that I wanted to change it. It's definitely having some effect. That's cool. So, Jeff, this is like day 2, session 2 of playing with MIDI with the EYESY. It's only got like 6 things that it does via MIDI, so it's. But this is I'm liking what I got. I'm liking this ability. This is pretty cool. Nice. All right, that was. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot more time on that tonight. I will save them. I will save my work, and next week we'll play with it some more because it should be. That'll be fun, or I'll have it working. Let's put it that way. So now I've got the sequence running again, so it should switch back and forth between the two different different things. I'll go ahead and pop this up. The 5 controls, Paul, they vary depending on the algorithm that's running on the EYESY. In this case, it looks like it's speed and focus and size of the pixels and direction of the pixels, or something along those lines. On other ones, they may have to do with horizontal and vertical positioning, and responsiveness, or whatever whoever's designed the visualization, or what they call mods, I think they're called. Whoever's designed that determines. No, not Fismo. Determines what the 5 controls do. And right now I've actually got a couple of things going on. Not only do I have the controls that we've set up, but I've also got this reacting to incoming audio. So it's the thing is really kind of reactive, and what I really would like to be able to do is choose some presets that I like, set up the 5 controls, and then be able to call them via MIDI control from Ableton Live. That's where I'm trying to get to this, so it becomes more of an actual, instead of just throw the visualizer up there and let it go. I would like things to be, as I go further into getting performance-oriented kind of stuff done, I'd like it to be able to be part of the performance. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, baby steps, and today was the second one. There are other controls on there. Like I said, there are the five rotary controls. There's a control. Actually, we'll go back. Go to that. So there's, of course, it's not looking there. So let me swing the camera around again. Put your seatbelts on, guys. Camera moves very slowly when it's zoomed in, supposedly to make it easier to find things. So let's see. Let's go here. Start to see things pop into view. There's my phone. Up some. Over some. That way. I guess I should lighten it up so I can see what I'm looking at. Here. Little zoom. Okay. Okay, so there are the 5 knobs here. These 2 buttons cycle through the large library of. Actually, let's switch this. These 2 buttons cycle through the large library. I've got like 73 different visualizations on here. So I'm not going to change these. These 2 change between the snapshots or my favorites. I got a favorites list. I can store like 20 in the favorites list. So these 2 buttons cycle through those. That saves to favorite. This takes a picture of what's on the screen. I'm not sure what that one does. This one here turns the persistence off, so it's only what's the pixels that are active that are shown. And if you have the persistence turned on, it fills out. Let me get back to the way this preset was by default. So you can see. So it starts to fill out the screen with persistence on. This guy here displays the shift menu, and then there's a menu here. I didn't post 2 links. I didn't post today's list until today. Yesterday's link was the Gallimaufry link was posted a couple days ago. So don't know. Don't know. Stuff happens. Don't worry about it, Craig. It's no big deal. So anyway, that's the quick tour of the EYESY. This down here is its Wi-Fi. I can actually log into this over Wi-Fi. And then on the back, the MIDI's in here. Over here at the end that's the audio. A couple other controls plugged in. So that's that. That's how that thing works. It's pretty slick, and Jeff knows that what I really want is the Entropy and Sons Recursion Studio, but it's a fortune. I won't say a fortune. It's not cheap, and there's more programming involved with that I want to do. This is programming enough. Asaph, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. So that's the it's a splurge. It really is a splurge, and you know it's $1,200. That's another synth, honestly. So you know, and like I said, I'm on a bit of a moratorium on spending at the moment. Probably actually for quite some time, to be honest. If something else is new is going to come in, something's got to go out. So that's that. And I'm actually I've looked around the studio. I've said this a number of times over the past few weeks, but there are things that are going to go out the door. Need to bring it to the live show Fritz is working on. Yeah, we can talk about that. Definitely talk about that. It's portable, and it can put out either HDMI. I think it'll also do composite out, but I know it does HDMI out. That's how I've got it running, and it'll do HD. So it's HD or SD. So pretty cool little box. And the thing about one of the things about the EYESY is the price is good. I mean, it's only like $300 or $400. Yeah, it'll drive a projector if it'll take either HDMI or composite. Either one, just fine. Just need an appropriate cable of the appropriate length, and if it's going to run the projector HDMI and it's going to be more than 25 feet or so, we'll probably want We'll probably want an active cable, and I know the EYESY cannot drive the active cable, so it'll have to go into something that we can get to drive an active cable out to do the power inject. But it's I will say I'll go ahead and switch. I'm going to put it up on screen. By itself. I think this is the right one, and I'll drive a couple of the other yeah, there we go. I'll drive a couple of the other presets as I get back to mine easily enough. So you can see that the presets are kind of, and watch your eyes. Some of these are going to be flashy. I don't know. I'm just kind of going through at random. Somebody's alarm has gotten set off outside. Hope it's not one of mine. So there's like I said, I got 73 different presets in here. That one is that one's kind of a mess. That one's trying to be a video camera input that I haven't got set up right. But they all do. I mean, there's, like I said, there's bunches of these in here. Showing, I should probably turn the persistence off. Some of them I have no idea what they're up to. And see, I prefer performing. Whoa, sorry guys, that'll set somebody's right into a seizure. Yeah, flashing square. So anyway, there's, like I said, 73. Some of these you will have seen here before as I get to the ones that I've used. I'm banging through them pretty quick. There's a couple in here that I was using in the past. This one's interesting. I mean, it's audio reactive, and I was using it as a background sometimes. This one I used a few times. This one's kind of cool when the resistance gets turned on. Anyway, it does a bunch of stuff. And go back to my presets. Doop, there we go. And go back to that. And we're back. So anyway, so yeah, I like to, and when I'm doing live shows, I like to play music. That's really what I'm more about. I really only got this just for, it was, there's a whole lot of stuff in my studio that is kind of just as the result of some online jokes and fooling around that we've been doing. the light back here behind the TV set that does the swirlies, that's, that had to do with just the kind of joke that was going around that synchrotron kind of started. So the lava lamp is a thing, the lips are a thing, so anyway, I wanted something a little more interesting than just turning the lights on in the studio and the white lights on in the studio and doing some videos. There will be some of those where I just come in here and do stuff, but like that, but not anytime soon. So let's see, we're running down to about 10 after 9. Video stuff is fun. The thing with, and I am too, Jeff. The thing for me with video, or one of the things, it is, Craig. One of the things with me for video is, video / television is what I do for my day job. So if I'm going to do it here in the studio, it's really got to be fun. And the minute it gets to be a drag, I do something else. So I may, like I said, I do want to be able to have MIDI control over the visuals, and I've got that. So it's just a matter of refining it and making it work the way I want it to work. At that point, I will probably stop fooling with it. I've got, my except fine-tuning switcher setups and that kind of thing. Beyond that, I think I'm pretty much, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, that's true. So for those who don't know, Jeff just got a new computer, and he's basically torn everything apart and is reloading software and starting over. I won't say starting over because he'll be able to restore most of his stuff, but he's got to set everything up again. So next week he'll be back. Maybe for sure. Maybe before Crash the Spaceship on the desert planet. I'm not going to touch that. Gonna kind of leave that alone. Why is that? See, I see, and I'm sitting here looking at the screen. I'm seeing exactly what you guys are seeing right now. I'm looking to program out, I'm seeing some kind of weird stuff in the lava lamp. There's like the globs aren't really globular; they're kind of blocky, which is kind of weird. You're rebuilding everything. You are a glutton for punishment, Jeff. So you'll have this done tomorrow, right? Or is that how you're planning to spend your weekend? I'm going to be making. I will be making some changes in the studio over the next week. I started to say stuff that's going away. I've got 3 drum machines. I'm holding up 4 feet. I got 3 drum machines. They're all going. I've drink the lamp. I've kind of decided that modern-ish. Well, I'm just not a drum machine guy mostly. I don't like the way any of them work really, and at least the ones that I have. And I don't use them all that much. So I have I've got an LXR02. I've got a Electron Model Samples, and I've got a Behringer RD6 non-modded. And they're all very cool for what for their little segment, but they don't work the way I like a drum machine to work. So, it must be the scaling in the box because it looks fine here. Okay, the lava lamp. So they're all cool, especially the LXR02. I just don't like the way it works. That's all. You can do, and the LXR2 is probably the most flexible of the three. So anyway, those are going. At least the Yamaha mixer that I've talked about before, that's going out of here. I've got an Arturia Mini Lab Mark II that is going. I'll probably get rid of the little I might get rid of the little Behringer Flow 8 mixer. It's a nice little mixer, but it doesn't I've not used it. It's sitting on the shelf. And possibly I'm gonna dry run this. I'm gonna take the Take 5 out of the rig, and move, I think, the big key lab over there so I can put the multi-poly over here. Let's get camera 2 back ripples. So you can see what I'm talking about more or less. Come on, there we go. So I'm going to take the Keylab 49, and I'm going to move it over here where the Take 5 is now. Take the Take 5 out of the system for the time being, and then the multi-poly, which is sitting over here out of shot right now, I'm going to move that into this area so that all the Korgs are together with this computer, because this computer, as we talked about a couple weeks ago or last week, is now controlling, because of the USB MIDI debacle, this computer is now handling all the edit control for the Korgs. So this becomes a Korg workstation, and then main MIDI control for Ableton Live, and then the synths live over here, or the other control in this synth live over here. Anyway, that's a thought. I don't know if the Take 5 will actually leave or not, but it might. The Cobalt 5S might go, and maybe the Pro 800. The Pro 800 has sat on the shelf mostly since it got here, and that's kind of in my head at the moment. That's what's in my head, which was the original title of this stream. What I'm finding is, and the reason for this is, what I'm finding is that I'm starting songs or starting stuff that I'm working on the laptop, not the laptop that's here, but my other laptop, and the laptop that I had originally bought that didn't work out for a full-fledged system in here in the studio. I've been starting stuff on that with, I have a Mini Lab 3 that I use with it, and that's a really good pairing. The two are, as far as the footprint is concerned, are about the same, so they can live in a fat laptop bag together if I want to, and I can basically take that around anywhere, and that, a pair of headphones, and I'm in business. So I'll start things there. I start sound design on that. I start bits and pieces of songs on that, and then move them here to the studio computer and finish them in this room. So on a track, I haven't used the Take 5 much at all. I haven't used the Pro 800 ever on a track. I haven't used the Cobalt ever on a track. I take that back. The Cobalt got used on a track for January 23. Got used on several tracks there, and I like the Cobalts. So the idea, so another thought is that as things shuffle out, I might replace the stack Well, see, the thing is, Paul, if the Take 5 is going to leave, money has to come in. Um, you know, and so if it's there's got to be that, you know, there's got to be, I don't know. Again, thinking, the five, the Take 5. The Take 5 is, it would be, is Paul, it would be a great jam synth, except um, the problem with it is that it's analog, and so, you know, the change in the environment change, um, it was it does, if the environment changes and it's like off for a long time, it acts a little funny for the first hour. If you want to, Asaph, if you want to try a Cobalt, um, and get the feel for it, how it works, what it sounds like, you know, this little guy is a great gateway drug to the Cobalt. It really is. The things I'll tell you, I'll be upfront with you what I don't like about it. Okay, I don't like the key bed. It's not that it's mini keys that I don't like, because I don't mind mini keys, but I don't like the feel of this. The after touch, it's like the keys. If you bend in, if you go into the, can't get a good shot of this. If I go in, maybe you can see. If I go in and dig into the aftertouch, you can see the key bends. The whole key bends, not like on a Hydrosynth Explorer, which is an amazing keyboard, or even the Arturia mini keys. These keys are awful. And then the only other thing I don't like about it is I don't like, on this guy, there's a lot more function stacking on the knobs, on the controls, and so it's a little trickier to get around if you're trying to do live performance with it or a live jam with it. Getting through things can be a little tricky because the print is small, and if you don't have good light, it's really hard to read. But the sound of this thing is, I mean, it's only 5 voices, but the sound of it otherwise is on par with the Cobalt 8. You also don't have as many effects. You've only got 2 effects, and they're kind of hard-coded as to what they are on this. There's more flexibility on the Cobalt 8 series, and a couple other things. But as far as the taste for how the Cobalt works, it's a really fun little keyboard. One thing that this does have that the full size does not have is the trackpad, and this trackpad is XYZ, so it is it's pressure sensitive as well. So the trackpad is really cool mostly, and you can get it to a position and lock it, and it's a fun thing. As far as so anyway, that's one thing that's really cool about this guy is that the power, it can be USB powered. The power drain is incredibly low. I took this to a jam at Paul's place the last time I went, which was a few weeks ago. Not the most recent one, but the one before. I took that, and another thing that's really excellent about the modal synths in general is the software editor that you use along with it. It runs on PC, it can run on iPad, or it can run on an Android device or a Chromebook. And so the last time I went down to Paul's, I took the Cobalt, and I took a really old cheap Chromebook, and I went for hours on powered the synth from the Chromebook, and did not have the Chromebook plugged into AC power at all. So the only cables coming out of me were the audio cables, and the Chromebook, even like I said, this Chromebook is really old, and fairly decrepit, and it will run for a good 5 hours in that combination. And their editor software is really, really, really good. So that's when are you gonna get them posted, Paul? Come on. What's up, man? Come on. Get on the stick. So anyway, Paul puts a lot of work into these things and a lot of work into the jams and the videos. If you haven't watched any of the videos from Paul from the jams, the EMPS jams, or stuff that that Paul puts out on hardware jams and stuff like that, you got to go check out his channel. Lots of fun. So anyway, the 5S is a great entry level gateway drug into the modal world. Oh, when the group says so. Okay, so another, if you can find one, over here, and you want a gateway drug into the modal world to see how things work and not spend a lot of money, this guy is astounding. This is a 4-voice polysynth, and it has much of the functionality of a Cobalt. Where it starts to lack, so to speak, and I won't even say more drugs, please. Where it starts to lack is it doesn't have as many algorithms as far as the waveforms are concerned, but it really sounds good. And new, they were a couple $100. So if you can pick up one used, you should be able to pick one of these guys up for $100 or so. If you want to try something similar in timbre to the Argon, because they don't have a small version of the Argon. But if you want to try something that's similar in timbre to the Argon and you don't mind a monosynth, see if you can find one of these. So these little guys, this works very similarly to an Argon, except that it's a monosynth, and a lot of fun. Hey, Eric, good to see you. You're coming in towards the tail end because I've got an early day tomorrow. But so anyway, these, if you can find these, I'm not letting these go. But if you can find these guys, they're great gateways to the modal synth world, and they're a lot of fun to play with. They sound great. Drawbacks are that, and I haven't having a problem with it on this one. They use USB Mini B or Micro B, and those are like the worst connectors on the planet. So they use that for power and USB to the and USB. But these guys can also be powered on AA batteries. So what I usually do with I've found cables that work. So I've got kind of like a kit that goes with these guys and and whatever computer I'm plugging them into, usually the Chromebook. And then some other minor drawbacks to me is the outputs are the audio outputs are TRS mini. They're 3.5 millimeter, but they did go on both of them with full size mini DIN plugs. So so the thing with the power connector, the USB power connector on this is it's a Micro B, and so it's subject to the problems that you have with Micro B. And so if you've got a crappy cable, the ground will lift and it will make the USB noise. What I do when that happens, I throw some AA batteries in it, throw the switch the other way. USB still works for data at that point, but the power comes off the batteries and it's dead silent, except when it's supposed to be making sound. And you know, these things are cheap, so the knobs wobble, you know, but they work fine. You know, you should be able to pick one of these. Guys were 150 new, I think. You should be able to pick one up used in good shape for 75 bucks. I wouldn't say it would cost any more than that. And like I said, they sound great, you know. I don't have the Modal app loaded on anything, I don't think, so I can't jack one of those in and show you the app this week. If you want, so if somebody wants, I'll get them hooked up for next week, and we can play with them next week. And I can show you what they all sound like. I think they're, like I said, I think they're great little synths. They're similar. The Behringer synths, the form factor is more something that sits flat on the desk and has a bump in the back. These are nicely angled, so you know, a little more maybe a little more comfortable to control. Won't be any more comfortable to play. That's the other thing with these. The keys also function as controls during the keys. Function as controls when you're programming and whatnot. Moving around, it turns out, is really not that hard, though. I was thinking it was going to be kind of tricky, but it's really not bad. But this is also powered with the same, you know, micro USB-B garbage or batteries. And again, they went with the full-size MIDI. Everything else is TRS MIDI. But they're nice. They sound good. All the modal stuff. Every modal thing that I have heard sounds good. I was not initially impressed with the new one, the new Carbon 8. And I think it's too expensive for what it is, but that's me. You know, I do like the price of the Cobalt and the Argons. I think they're the Cobalt and the Argon 8 come in 37 key and with nice Vitar aftertouch key beds, and they also come in a 61 key, I believe, with nice Vitar aftertouch key beds. They're really nice to play. Not as nice as the ASM keybeds on the full size Hydrasynths, but they're really good. I don't own them, but I don't own any of those, but I've played them all, so they're nice. Anyway, and it looks like Modal is coming back in pretty good shape. Finally, been a long time coming. So anyway, getting late. Like I said, I've got to be in Washington early in the morning, and it takes me a couple hours to get down there. So, I am going to jump back, Eric, and say, as far as comparison, I haven't put my fingers on any of the small factor Behringers, just because, you know, I can't get them here without having, you know, I have to order them in, play with them, and decide if I want to keep them or send them back. It's not my favorite city either, Eric, but that's where the customer is. I leave the U.S. again. Yeah. We'll stay clear of that for the moment. I will say, I will say that as great a place as Iceland is to visit, I don't think I want to live there. Too cold and too expensive. But if you get the chance to go to Iceland, go. It's well worth the visit. It's an amazing place. So anyway, but we didn't do the hot springs for reasons. and I didn't even put many of the pictures up, Craig. That's the thing. I only put up a couple. I still haven't had time to go through them all. And I want to go back. We want to go back in the other half of the year sometime, when it's not freezing cold and snowing. The thing is that what was interesting, I mean, I live in Maryland, and for the entire time that we were in Iceland, and actually a lot of the times when we looked otherwise, it's warmer during the winter. It's actually warmer in Iceland than it is in the part of Maryland that I live in. And it was by a good margin. I don't know what's going on July 27th, but I will probably be in this country somewhere. Unless there's a particular reason that I want to be gone from here that I don't know about yet. I've kind of tuned out of the news a little bit, just keeping a peripheral when Iceland is not freezing. So Paul, I mean, well, let's see. Iceland is. I can tell you what the temperature in Iceland is right now, in Reykjavik. Right now in Reykjavik, it is. Okay, it's 30 degrees. It's also, what time is it there? 5 hours ahead of us. So, yeah, no news is good news lately. So it's, 3 in the morning there. 30 degrees. Right now is, here in, where my little part of Maryland, it's 41. So right now it's only like, 11 degrees cooler there. It's the middle of the night there. We're just, starting in the night, or we're into night here, but, it's like, it's 9:45. But, it's the temperature difference is not that huge. I was really surprised. And the whole time, we were there, it only got below freezing in the overnights, and otherwise it was in the 30s and 40s. I take that back. One day it got cold. That was, of course, was the day that we were out trampling about all over the place, but it was still amazing. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Right now it's 14 degrees colder there. But again, it's the middle of the night there, and we're just getting into where the temperature is going to drop. Tomorrow in Reykjavik, it's going to be. No, they're going to have snow tomorrow. They're going to have snow tomorrow, the next few days. But by the end of the week, it's going to be in the 40s again. So, and the end of the week here, the end of the week here, it's going to be in the 40s. Actually, no, it's going to creep into the 50s here. But we're starting to get into the time where the temperature starts to warm up a little bit in this part of the world. So, I did see a little bit of Greenland on the way home, and it was not green. It was indeed snowy and icy. I do understand that parts of Greenland during the summertime anyway are absolutely amazing. It's not all ice all the time, but it's certainly icy and cold there now. So anyway, March 14th is your winter's over day. Okay. I think most of the rest of us do the 21st, but that's cool. So anyway, I'm going to wind down. We didn't get to any sound design today, but that's okay. We had a good time yammering and playing with the EYESY. I was going to play around with some SQ80V, but didn't get there. So I'm going to play some music. Thank you everyone for coming. Appreciate it. It's good to see you all. And so I'm going to play some music, and you'll get to see the new visuals. And we'll see. Now that I've broken the jam from the beginning of the session, we'll see what happens. So, again, thanks, guys. You all have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever it is where you are. And I will catch you all on the interwebs. And we'll see you again next week. Hey, Paul, yeah, we can do some of that. I can record some of this stuff. Definitely. May not do it. I'll try and have it for you, have something recorded for the next one. I'll talk to you about that later.